Save this video, it will age well. I have been watching Africa for a very long time because I believe a lot of the things and the shiftings that you see happening on a global scale, sometimes you got to pay attention to certain things that are happening in continents like Africa and then also in continents like Europe. But I paid attention more to Africa. Number one, sometimes history have shown us that whenever things want to be rapidly pushed, right, or you want to rapidly implement something and you know that there's going to be hesitation or resistance, what you do is you get the entire country a part of it. So that way, what it is that you cause some type of fear, intimidation, panic, so that everyone is not able to think critically, but they're just going off of the whims of emotions and then off of the highs of what if, what if, what if. An example of that is 9/11. One of the byproducts of 9/11 is it removes certain things from the American citizens and it put it in the place of a system that you never wanted it to have in the first place. So 9/11, the byproduct of that was TSA. Prior to that, all of the stuff that you see with TSA, these rules and regulation, that stuff was non-existent. Number two, my hope for the very long time was in Africa because I said, before anything would happen on a global scale, it would be kind of difficult for them to do it in a continent like Africa because it's myriads of countries and there's places in Africa that has been untapped. However, one of the things that I have been noticing is a lot of outside sources has been buying land in Africa. They have been tapping into the resources of Africa, and never would I thought that they would be able to go into remote villages and make them digitized. Like, how y'all do that? These people don't even have electricity. How did you get them to be digitized? Did y'all also notice that they stopped this push with the environment? And the minute that they stopped this push with the environment, all of a sudden that you saw all of these data centers popping up. Here's the problem. The data centers were already built from 10 to 15 years ago. They just needed the right time so that it looks like they're all on the scene, when in reality, these people were been taking land for data centers. So I guess they don't longer care about the environment. Speaking of that, the person that was promoting the environment, that was funding, that was giving money, billions of dollars into the environment, he switched from that to vaccines. He switched from that. And now he's all into the health. Speaking of health, health is your wealth. Health is absolutely your wealth. It's time we start being more focused on eating God's food, making God's food, creating God's food through our own means. I believe traveling is going to become a true luxury. And when I say luxury, I'm talking about multi-million-dollar mansion type luxury, like that type of luxury. I also believe that traveling is going to cease to the point where it seems like you're only going to be able to travel on your side of the hemisphere. I saw a splitting of Western and Eastern hemisphere. Anyways, the ones that know their God, which is, if you know your God is almighty, he is Jireh. He will make a way if you need to travel somewhere. So I just wanted to add that in there. They're coming after the churches in America, in US. They're coming after the churches. Y'all don't know it, but they're coming after the churches. Absolutely, yes, they are. My thing is, because a lot of the framework of how church is operating right now, they're not, first of all, they should have grabbed the framework of a community. Like, this is what we saw in the Bible in the early days. It was community based. It was community based. So building your community doesn't necessarily mean that they're not believers. You can have a community of believers. The community was the people. It wasn't a building. Let me come back to that. They're coming after the churches. You guys are going to see in the coming days them come after the churches. You're also going to see churches give up their lands. You're also going to see churches give up their property. You're also going to see churches get into the business of getting into contract with government, and it's gonna come as if they're doing something for the people, but really what it is they gave their rights. Did y'all not notice, like, during the pandemic, it wasn't much churches that were buying? Why were they not buying farmlands? Why were they not buying lands? Why were they buying lands? And it was for the institution, and it wasn't for the people. Meaning they bought 100 acres and they split it off between the members. They're coming after the churches, is all I'm going to say. However, they're also the ones who are really hearing God is going to start going more towards the framework of true fellowship and more towards the framework of community. Preparation is key, guys. Preparation is key, is all I'm going to say. Preparation is key. You don't prepare when things is on fire. You don't prepare when destruction is happening. You don't prepare when all hell seems loose. No, you prepare in the good of the land. You prepare when the corns are fruitful, when the corn is favorable, when the corn is it's at its top, it's at its peak. That's when you prepare. So preparation is key. It's not nothing to fear. It is something to be warned. And save this video. Today is May 7th.